Hello, my good mindfully fit people watching on YouTube. I thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Troy Devlin. I'm a men's health coach and I specialize in weight loss. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the weight loss process and the mindsets involved there. There's many schools of thought as far as how to lose weight, how to go about that. There are various exercise modalities that we can approach it from, right? Like, we can increase our output in terms of exercise. We can adjust what we're eating. We can adjust the way that we look at things, right? Our mindset. And that's really how I like to do it. I like to take a mindful approach, hence the name of the channel, Mindfully Fit. I just feel like, mindfulness or paying attention to the present moment, what you're doing. I feel like, you can get great results that way. And most people aren't trying to be professional athletes or, bodybuilders. The reason that they're trying to stay fit is for life, functional fitness. And that's what I advocate for, and that's what the channel's all about. Mindfully Fit is about a everyman's approach to fitness. And the reason I'm so passionate about it is because many years ago I was overweight, significantly overweight, 330 pounds. And I was very unhappy with the results I was getting living in that body. And what I learned is that you can lose the weight. It'll take a while, so be realistic in terms of time frames. But really, set your sights high, set a goal for yourself and understand that you can do it. I know 100%, as sure as I'm sitting here, I know that you can do it because I see people do it all the time, guys. I'm a coach. People come to me and I oftentimes ask them what they have going on and they tell me, and what I've found is that most people, the reason why they're not where they're at is because of one or two small things that they tend to do wrong all the time. Like stupid little diet things, like there's something that they're eating and that's why they're not losing weight, right? Like they're exercising and they're paying attention to what they eat most of the time, but they don't really feel like they're getting the results that they should be getting. And oftentimes one of the first things that I'll do with a client is I'll have the client complete for me what's called a food journal, which is where they keep track of what they eat. And I like to see what somebody eats over the course of a day. Food journal does two things. It, it's going to influence the client, because if you have to write down, what you're eating, you might think twice about putting it in your face. Whereas if there was no journal, we eat things sometimes without even really making that conscious decision. And when you got to put pen to paper, if it goes in your mouth, it can influence the client. But what I tell the client is to not, if you feel like eating a bag of chips, I tell them that you can eat the bag of chips. We're not cutting that out yet. We're not looking at that yet. We're just writing it down. And usually, if the client is keeping a truthful food journal, which most people by the time they come to me, they're okay with being open and honest about diet at that point. But what I find is that the client's doing something that's really messing them up in terms of probably spiking their insulin. They're eating something that is either too salty, too sugary, or the wrong type and too high in carbs. And if they just cut that out, they would make miraculous progress. So oftentimes it's diet related. It's like, if you're fat, guys, can we just say the F word here, fat? Okay, if you're fat, it's probably because of what you're eating, right? There's no other reason. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's something that's genetic. It doesn't matter if you have a medical condition. Okay, you are not going to be fat unless you are eating something that is causing that. That's the bottom line. You can't argue that. Okay, guys? So we have to look at that. And what I find when we look at that is that oftentimes there's a few things, super easy things to cut out or change, that that people could do to really make all the difference in the world. Talking about a whole new body, whole new life. So yeah, so that's it, guys. It's a couple things. Usually it's a couple things that you're eating, and if you change those things, you'll change your life. So I'd like to know if you've had any experiences like this. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And I've had a couple people ask me, if I do personal fitness consulting, and I do. Just hit me up in the chat. I'm also on LinkedIn, and I love helping people and showing them the way, being a guide for them in terms of how to lose the weight and keep it off, how to change your mindset so that it's easy to do that. I don't want my clients to suffer, right? If you think of a diet as suffering, if you think of exercise as suffering, I would invite you to look at those things differently. But I would also just I would just throw it out there. Hey, what if I told you that really all you have to do is change your mindset? You don't really have to go too hard in any of those other areas. And if you really focus on like your mental health, for example, your physical health is very strongly tied to that. And if you do the things that are right for your mind, spirit, you would be surprised what happens to your body. Get your mind right, and your body will be jacked and shredded, guys. I'm telling you. So I know you probably don't believe me, but the invitation is to consider it, explore it, and if you need a guide, I'm here for you. I support you guys. I'm your biggest fan, and it'd really help me out a lot too if you smash that subscribe button and you tell your friends. Anyone out there struggling to lose weight, I'd love to help them. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Peace.